11% of Americans own Bitcoin, according to this new survey. Litecoin price absolutely jumps. We're going to get into that a little bit in this video. And Bitcoin closing in on a third month of green candle. We'll check that out in this episode. What's up, guys? If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that button, hit that other button, and we can just jump into the video. So the first thing actually that I want to talk about is this, maybe the most interesting to me. This was posted on Cointelegraph by Helen Partz. 11% of Americans own Bitcoin. Major awareness increased since 2017. Now, keep in mind, 11% of Americans, according to this survey, not 11% of the world. America is one of the top investing cryptocurrency countries in the world. Most countries are not invested in cryptocurrency. In terms of interest, America is definitely like at the very top. So we can't forget like South Korea and China, but America is one of, I would say at least in the top 10 in terms of most involved in cryptocurrency, if not top 5 or top 3. I definitely would say America is definitely in the top 5 cryptocurrency invested countries. But so according to this, 11% of the American population owns Bitcoin. So this isn't just crypto in general, but Bitcoin specifically. However, if you're involved in Bitcoin, you're more likely to also just be involved in other cryptocurrencies as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if that number was high as well. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think that's a high number? I was a little shocked to read that. This is according to a new survey published by Spencer Bogart of venture capital firm Blockchain Capital today. So 11% of the American population. Did you think it was higher? Did you think it was lower? So this survey was conducted within a 2-day period of April 23rd to April 25th, just a few days ago. Included answers of 2,000 American adults. So according to the survey, the American population gained knowledge about Bitcoin in terms of 6 key aspects: awareness, familiarity, perception, conviction, propensity to purchase, and ownership. With that, the indicators have dramatically increased in many cases since October 2017, despite the bear market of 2018. So we see the cryptocurrency market growing. And in this video too, I want to take a look at price, because are we in for a slight pullback before we continue to go up? Again, I want to talk about that in this video. But back to the article, the results outline that Bitcoin is a demographic megatrend led by the younger generation in the 18 to 34-year-old age range. According to the survey, awareness has become the only aspect where older demographics matched that of younger age groups. The proportion of people who heard of Bitcoin increased from 77% in October of 2017 to 89% in April of 2019. Pretty significant in terms of this survey here. If we want to continue on a little bit, this is a chart of Bitcoin awareness compared to pretty much now and then fall of 2017, and then just some age demographics there. Bitcoin ownership rates. Younger generation is much more involved than older generations. And since we're on the topic of demographics, I'll just show you my own analytics here. Oh, you can see very clearly it is shifted more toward the 25 to 40-year-old. These are just my demographics, people that watch my videos. So in particular here, the 2 highest demographics are 25 to 34 and 35 to 44 years old. But still a significant amount in the 45 to 54 and 55 to 64 as well. 65 plus says 0 here, but I'm not sure how accurate that is. And it does say 100% male here, 0% female. Again, not sure how accurate that is, because I know some females have commented before, but I guess it's just a very low number. As well, this isn't something I mentioned in the intro, but it's something I want to cover in this video a little bit, is that the Tether lawyer admits stablecoin now is 74% backed by cash and equivalents, which is less than, being completely backed. It says here, Tether, the company behind USDT, holds about $2.1 billion in cash and short-term securities, wrote its general counsel Stuart Hoegner in an affidavit Tuesday. Hoegner is also general counsel to Bitfinex, a crypto exchange. And again, this does not seem to be affecting the market at all. I don't think people care. It's not fully backed, clearly. I think there's some stuff going on with exchanges. Could that bring the price of Bitcoin down in the future? Potentially. I think the ramifications might be large, but in a lot of ways, once a cycle starts, it's hard to stop it. And, for the most part, I'm not sure people really care too much about this. And if investor confidence isn't shaken, then it's harder to affect the market. So I could see the market maybe overstepping or ignoring something like this. However, again, I don't want to discount the fact that, a major problem like this, if this continues or something else happens, that could affect many exchanges, not just this exchange, because so many of these exchanges are tied together when it comes to a lot of things really on the back end. It's very not super decentralized, to be honest, yet. Exchanges in particular are not very decentralized at all. That's why a lot of people advocate for decentralized exchanges. Before we get into the charts then, this will lead us into that. This was published today by Omkar Godboll on CoinDesk. Bitcoin's price closes in on first 3-month win streak since 2017. And really, you can see them illustrated here by the performance dating back to October 2017. And you see 2018 completely kind of negative there. And you see it shifting upwards as of 2019, as of March 2019, as of February 2019. You can see, if we go to the monthly chart here, you can see that clearly as well. Let me zoom out here, make that look a little better. You can see 1, 2, 3 looking very possible to close this 3-month. Well, I mean, it's April 30th, so it'll, unless we drop about 1,000 points, this will close green, and it will close in its first 3-month in a row candle since 2017. So that's very exciting as well. Now, if we want to jump into Bitcoin and Litecoin, first of all, if you go to CoinMarketCap, you do notice Litecoin is up 7%. And I think really that has to do with the fact that Litecoin was very much more oversold than a lot of these other cryptos. Litecoin has been taking a pretty hard correction there. As you can see, if we go to Bitcoin, you can see Bitcoin's pattern on the daily chart here, really sloping upwards. If I just draw this here, you can see this clearly sloping upwards there. With Litecoin on the daily, that is not what you see. It's the exact opposite. You see the exact opposite. So it's not really correct to say Litecoin is on a tear. It's absolutely killing it. You look at it on the 24-hour and it's like, wow, up 7%. That's more than everything else. It does look good on the 24-hour. However, overall, Litecoin has been correcting very heavily. Again, it did lead that initial charge on April 2nd. It had insane gains. You can see here from $60 up to touched on $100 on Coinbase here. And really in like the high 90s, 98, 97. But yeah, Litecoin has just been getting wrecked on the daily chart for the past few weeks. And so you see a nice spike up here relative to the rest of the market. But again, you can see it's clearly below this 50-day moving average here. And Bitcoin is very much already still above that 50-day moving average. Bitcoin is currently about 10% above the 50-day moving average. And Litecoin is, what percent would that be here? Was about 6% below it. Now it's about 3% above it. So you can see Litecoin getting above its 50-day moving average right here. Will that last? I think we have to wait and see if that candle can close, maybe find support for another day or two. But Bitcoin has just been above it this entire time. Again, notice the golden cross here, still relevant, something to keep an eye on there. If we want to switch over to the weekly for Bitcoin, things still seem pretty overbought, but they could be, balancing themselves out. This is something we talked about yesterday, and that is the potential for a head and shoulders pattern on Bitcoin. And that would look very good if, if this pattern continues, if we do get more of a move upwards, say, for example, Litecoin continues to climb. We go by that new fad where Litecoin seems to be guiding Bitcoin first, kind of giving indicators of where Bitcoin is going to go in terms of its movement up or down. And if Litecoin or Bitcoin continues to go up, that would easily form a nice shoulder there. And then that could illustrate a nice pullback and really just mean a completed head and shoulders pattern. And what that would mean is that we would get lower prices. Maybe have to test 4,000, maybe 5,000 again, probably below 5,000 if we would to, complete a head and shoulder there. But yeah, that would totally be relevant. And I still think that's very much in play here. You see, I'll try and make it a little less sloppy when I do it here. You see this being the shoulder, then this being the head, and then this shoulder potentially going anywhere to, 53, 5,400 US dollars there on Bitcoin. So that is what I'm looking at there on the daily. I want to jump back into Litecoin as well, but then, finishing it off with Bitcoin here, you can see trying to get above that 50 moving average on the 4-hour there. You can see that clearly. And then on the 1-hour, it is above that as of the past 12 hours or so. So that's good to see. And if we jump over to Litecoin again, you see on the 4-hour, this is going to look pretty extreme here. And on the 1-hour as well, trying very hard to get above this 50 moving average here. And then on the 1-hour, you can see clearly it did get above this here. So there's still room. I do think this move is going to be prolonged, but overall, I'm still sticking to what I've been saying for the past few weeks, and that is most likely a pullback within the next few weeks, I think, to kind of even these things out, have Bitcoin come down and test this moving average at the very least, maybe 47, 4,800, possibly lower. And this, again, could be a textbook head and shoulders here. It looks very much possible. And again, that leaves plenty of room for a nice run, maybe 55, 5,600 before the pullback. And people at that point would be thinking, hey, you know, this is really the beginning of the run. And a lot of people could get shaken out a little bit for a short amount of time because it turns out to be a pullback move, or, you know, the market pulls back drastically. But yeah, that's going to be it for this update. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure to hit that button, hit that other button, and I'll see you in the next video.